Maurizio Gucci was born and raised in wealth as the only son of Rodolfo Gucci, heir to the Gucci fashion house. His mother, an actress and a model, had died when he was only 5 years old. The Gucci family business was founded by Maurizio's grandfather, Guccio Gucci, 28 years before his birth in 1920. It started as a small family business where Guccio sold leather accessories to horsemen. With Guccio's three sons, Aldo, Vasco, and Rodolfo, he was able to expand the business to Rome and eventually New York. Guccio Gucci died in 1953. Everything changed when Maurizio met a 22-year-old girl, Patricia Reggiani, at a party. It was love at first sight. He was so infatuated by her that he asked to marry her on their second date. They immediately started to hit it off, but Rodolfo was overprotective of his son and wasn't having it. He thought Patricia was a social climber with nothing but money in her mind. Despite Rodolfo's advice, the couple went on to get married in the Church of Santa Milan in 1972. Patricia was determined for her husband to heal the rift with the family and asked Aldo to convince Rodolfo to reconnect, and it worked. Rodolfo then gifted Maurizio and Patricia a luxury New York penthouse. In the US, he was installed as Aldo's trainee and he learned a few tricks of the trade. Patricia offered her husband advice and pushed him towards the role as the heir. When Rodolfo died in 1983, Maurizio inherited Rodolfo's 50% stake in the Gucci empire and began fighting with his cousins and uncles about the direction of the family business. When Maurizio felt his brand was different from his prestigious, he began consulting from lawyers and close advisors rather than Patricia. In 1985, he packed his bag and left Florence without a word. Family friend broke the news to Patricia that Maurizio would not come back. Patricia confided in Pina, a family friend and psychic. Meanwhile, Maurizio made a deal with Investcorp to buy out his family. He was spending a lot of money, leading to debt that is forcing him to sell the rest of his shares. The company was no longer owned by anyone except the Gucci family. Although Maurizio continued funding Patricia and her daughter's lavish lifestyle, Patricia grew frustrated over losing the influence and status as Mrs. Gucci, and she was also spying on him and his girlfriend Paola Franchi. He then asked for a divorce. On the 27th of March 1995, as Maurizio was walking past his domain at his Milan office, he was shot. At first, the police thought maybe it was the work of mafia, but the other two people who were at the door were not shot. His girlfriend Paola was immediately evicted from the apartment by Patricia, which she was living with Maurizio. And when asked, Paola's only suspect was Patricia Gucci. In 1997, the police had a tip-off for a mysterious caller, a young man named Gabriela Capanese, had overheard security at the hotel he lived in boasting about the ordering they hit on Maurizio Gucci. So apparently Patricia Gucci had asked her friend Pina to kill her husband. Pina acted as a go-between Patricia and the contract killer. So Pina was friends with Stefano Saviano, the night porter who knew Orazia, a bankrupt restaurant manager who knew a contract killer, former mechanic Benedetto Serraulo. The police then bugged their cars, tapped their phones, and they got every suspect on force. On 31 January, Patricia was arrested. The whole court was a blame game, where Pina said Patricia made it an accomplice, whereas Patricia said the money she gave Pina was to protect her family from Pina's extortion. Patricia was then sentenced to 20 years in jail, and after 18 years, she was released in 2014, where she's staying with her mom in Milan.